So we've had our land for about 2 years now, and it's been great to be able to see how the land changes throughout the year and how the weather changes as well. It's quite interesting because we are quite close to the coast here, so that means that we get kind of the extremes of both types of weather. We have really dry, hot summers, which are almost like semi-drought, where we can have no rain for a few weeks at a time, and the rain that we do have is quite minimal. But then we can also have really extreme rainfall in autumn and springtime, to the point where we can get sort of flooding. So what we want to try and do is establish some passive rainwater collection. And essentially what that involves is some sort of change to the landscape that we make that allows us to collect the heavy rainfall when it happens and try and store that within the ground itself, so that when we have these really long drought periods, we can make use of that and that the land can become more resilient, and then we can improve the soil over time. So what we call the meadow area, that's probably around half of the land that we own. We have another section that's just to the south of this, which is mainly forested. It's got a large amount of cork oaks, but it also had all the eucalyptus that we took out last winter. So within the forest, it's less of a concern because the ground is so shaded by the big trees that the soil is protected, and there's less of an issue with the sun baking the soil so intensely and removing the nutrients. And because that soil is softer, it allows the rainwater to really soak into the soil. But what's happening in the meadow is that because the soil is so exposed, during the summer months, the sun really bears down on it and bakes it dry. So what we want to do is to try putting in some swales. So swales are, as I said, a passive rainwater collection technique, which comes a lot from permaculture. We're definitely not experts in this, and we've learned a lot from other videos on YouTube and other sort of practitioners. So I'll put some links in the description for you to kind of find out more detailed information about how they work. But as a general description, what you do is you install swales on contour lines of your land, which means that when it does rain, the rain is captured by the swales, which are essentially just long trenches. But those trenches, because they are sitting on your contour lines, the water doesn't run down the trench, it stays there. You're slowing down the water. So instead of the rainwater hitting the dry earth that had been baked all summer and running off and taking your topsoil and nutrients with it, it then goes into the swales and sits there and is allowed to slowly seep into the soil. So that's the idea, and we want to see if it can work. So we are ready to get measuring our swales. We need two things for that. We've got our A-frame here, which is essentially two pieces of stick with a horizontal stick, and this stone that hangs. And basically what you do is you put this on the ground, and then this string is supposed to be in the middle if the ground is straight. So obviously this ground isn't actually straight. So if it is to be straight, then the string would kind of land there in the middle of those two lines. That's the one part of it. The second part is this big pile of sticks over here, wooden stakes, so we can go out hunting vampires, or we can measure swales. So basically just taken a bunch of our sticks from our wood pile, from the eucalyptus, chop them at an angle on one side and flat on the other, and what we do is we go along with the A-frame, we hammer in one post on this side and then we find level and we hammer in a second post on this side, and we just keep walking the A-frame all the way along the contour line, and that is where we're going to put in our swale, basically.
Nice.
And then we just need to dig it, which is the bigger mission, but that's a mission for later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Like and subscribe, ring that bell for updates. We are here with Otter. We're about to cook some swales, make some swales, grow some swales. What are we saying, Kate?
Swaley, swaley.
It's good content right there.